Hey everyone, CBC News, Nova Scotia. Dalhousie student faces disciplinary action over Canada 150 post. We're going to do everything we can to let Dalhousie know that this is not okay, Musama Khan says. Now, I will say first and foremost, because I've already somewhat read this article, that I don't agree with what this woman said, right? But as someone that's a staunch supporter of freedom of speech and everything that entails, with no caveats, with no exceptions, right? I mean, a full supporter of free speech. While I would disagree with the rhetoric and the pretense of what this woman has to say, I will defend her right to say what she wants to say. I don't have to agree with her opinion. You don't have to agree with her opinion. You don't have to agree with her opinion. Hell, nobody has to agree with her opinion. But if you're to pretend that you live in anything that remotely resembles a free society, then you have to respect her right to that opinion. A Dalhousie University student is facing disciplinary action over a post she made to Facebook in the summer about Canada 150 celebrations. Musama Khan said she was given the option to undergo counseling and write a reflective essay after the Halifax-based school conducted an investigation into a complaint about her online comments, but she says she refused. And good for her. A lot of other Canadians could learn a few things from this woman, apparently. It was really offensive, to be honest, for the university to tell me that they're going to teach me how to talk about racism in a more collaborative way, when racism is very harsh. There's no nice way to talk about it, the 22-year-old Muslim woman said. No, we have to deal with harsh truth. But, unfortunately, and she's recognizing this herself, is in this culture of snowflakes, of massive sensitivity, and people not even having the willingness to have an actual argument, a debate, or a discussion with people that have opposing views. They're too scared. They'd rather run away, right? Go hide in their safe spaces. Yes, I'm very much disgusted with this kind of behavior too. And not because I agree with this woman's opinion, but because I recognize the same thing that she's seeing. We're going to do everything we can to let Dalhousie know that this is not okay and it's not appropriate. That's another thing I should point out is all you Canadians that, live in your entitled lifestyles, no wonder white people are being painted as such, because there are a lot of you out there that do fit that description. That you do live in this fucking echo chamber or this bubble of, I don't know what the fuck kind of entitlements that you've been given. I guess you probably work for the government, or you got someone else that works for the government, or some of these major crony corporations, so you don't want to rock the boat, no matter how immoral some of this shit is. You just seem to be more than willing to go along to get along, as long as you continue to benefit from this bureaucratic state. Earlier this year, Khan, who is a vice president of the Dalhousie Student Union, put forward a motion that the group not participate in Canada 150 celebrations. The executive passed her motion, saying it wouldn't hold or endorse Canada Day events on campus, describing this year's events as an act of colonialism. The student union faced a serious backlash over the decision, and Khan took to social media in response, writing that white fragility can kiss my ass. Your white tears aren't sacred. This land is. So, she's even being racist. This is the thing. This is what happens. Listen, lady, hold yourself to a little fucking higher standard and stop fucking trying to... I'm defending you, and I'm a white guy. And it's even hard for me to do such because you're fucking trying to paint me as being a racist too. But I'll fucking still defend you, even though you throw me into that collective mentality and that collective accusation that you put forth and presented out there. That racist accusation. But even though you fucking might look at me because of the color of my skin and deem me as someone you would pose or someone that, when I'm your oppressor, I'm still going to defend your right, even in the face of all that. You might want to reflect on that. The Facebook post has since been deleted. It prompted graduate student Michael Smith to write a scathing op-ed piece in the National Post, which argued that DSU was censoring anyone opposed to its decision. Khan's lawyer, Nasha Nihawan, said the only formal and written complaint she saw was from Smith, but they were told the university had received up to a dozen informal complaints. Khan said she doesn't regret the online post, but recognized that it may have hurt some people. That wasn't her intention. Well, come on. You can't throw an entire race under the bus and expect you not. But anyways, whatever. She said she was simply trying to reflect her own experiences dealing with racism. Well, deal with the people that actually, the individual. This is why individualism is so fucking important, and respect and acknowledgement of the individual. Because then you don't have to use this collective bullshit, right? You don't have to put forth this pretense of collectivism. You can say, this person treated me wrong. That individual. Or even if it was a group, that group. But that group doesn't represent, all of a particular race or all of a particular demographic group, right? Or even a particular sex. Dalhousie's vice provost of student affairs, Arig Al-Shabah, found there was enough of a basis to the complaint to conduct an investigation, according to Khan's lawyer, who has taken on the case pro bono. It was the university's position that the complaint was founded and that Mazuma's Facebook post constituted personal harassment under their policy, and that she should have known that her post would have been demeaning to people who identify as white. Oh, poor fucking... Really, I mean, if you're a white person, listen, like I said, you don't have to agree with this woman, but please show that you have thicker skin than what the fuck they're trying to put forth and present. This is how you deal with this stuff, right? Don't hate on her. Educate and inform her properly, or show her that, hey, your racist remarks, I'm going to prove to you that you can't paint every white person into one particular category. The university moved to a formal discipline process after Khan rejected their informal resolution, Nijhawan said. I'm surprised, I have to say, that a university has taken this position against a student, considering how entrenched and really well established the right to free speech, especially political speech, is on university campuses, she said. So like I say, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. It goes in every which way possible, in reality. Is we all have to recognize and respect people's rights, inherent rights, not government-given rights, inherent right to free speech. No matter how vile, despicable, or hate-filled the rhetoric may be, they have the right to feel and be who they are and express their opinions. I don't think that there was anything offensive about Mazuma said, even if she did swear. I mean, come on. I mean, now this person has obviously gone too far in trying to defend the fact that, well, no, she didn't say anything that was racist. But who gives a shit? Racism is not illegal. You have your right to your racist opinions. I might not agree with them, and I'll actually point out that you're pretty fucking stupid to throw all these people, especially a whole lot of good people, under the bus just because they share the same skin tone as others, right? That you might deem as being offensive or oppressive to you, or bigoted towards you, or in political opposition to you, or who have opinions that are in contrast to your own. But you should at least have the decency and the willingness to separate the good people from the bad, right? Don't hold entire segments of society accountable for the acts of particular individuals or particular groups. That kind of collectivism, that kind of identity politics, as we're seeing, it's out there today. The evidence is all around us, right? It's undeniable at this stage that is the worst thing that you can do in any kind of social economic system or endeavor. When you start divvying populations up into subgroups, using identity politics, and then the divide and conquer routine as a means to an end, well, that's that race to the bottom that, like I say, well, if you want to participate in that, well, you'll end up at the bottom just like everyone else. You're not going to benefit from it. You might think you will, but you're going to be down there with the rest of them. You're going to be down there dealing with that fucking stench, the rot of society that you help perpetuate and bring forward. Skinny Libertarian, and I love liberty.